Hello, I'm Molly Baker, and today I will be giving you a brief summary of the research I have done surrounding the stolen generation and the apology issued to them in 2008 by Prime Minister of Australia, Kevin Rudd. To set up the rhetorical situation, I'll begin by giving you a brief history. The term stolen generation is referring to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who were forcibly removed from their native lands as children from 1900 to the 1970s. They were taken by government officials and deemed as orphans. These children were either placed in institutional care like orphanages or missions, or they were placed into foster care with wealthier white families. In 1997, Australia funded a study entitled Bringing Them Home Report in efforts to grasp the effect the forced removal had on these people. Through the report, it was found that 1 in every 10 Aboriginal children were taken and 3 in every 10 Torres Strait Islander children were taken from their homes. It also came out that many of the children suffered from physical and/or sexual abuse while placed in government care, and those officials refused to help them. Along with that, there were stolen wages, meaning they never received any money for the work they did while being overseen by the Australian government. After this report was done, many state governments issued apologies on behalf of their state to the stolen generation. However, it was not until February 13, 2008, that the Australian Parliament apologizes as a whole to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait children. So, why was it important for the Prime Minister to apologize? First, it was not important for any one person to apologize for this situation. It was the responsibility of the Australian government to take initiative and recognize the wrong that they had done, even years after the fact. One of the reasons they decided to just now offer this apology was because of the findings in the Bringing Them Home report that exposed the suffering and depression these people went through by being torn away from their families. The relationship between the whites and the Aboriginals has never been one to be considered smooth. However, there have been great strides to bridge that gap since the 1970s report, and this apologia takes it one step further by claiming that this is the first day of the future for healing racial relationships in Australia. The Prime Minister puts it like this: a future where we harness the determination of all Australians, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, to close the gap that lies between us in life expectancy, educational achievement, and economic opportunity. The overall message of the Prime Minister's Apologia was not to expose the horrors of what happened to the stolen generation. It was that together, Indigenous and non-Indigenous would rebuild the value system of the country and Parliament as a whole and to reestablish an understanding of unity. He does this by not denying but recognizing the atrocity and transcending that what was done by past parliaments is in the past and totally separate from the one currently intact, stating that they honor the Indigenous people and offer equality within, turning the situation into pure optimism. Prime Minister Kevin Rudd's Apologia received a standing ovation when delivered, and has since then received mostly good reviews. This is largely due to the implementations that were put in place after, such as the Healing Foundation to address trauma and aid for mostly Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, and other implementations alike that are still continuing today. To end, I believe the question on hand is, how does one set about making it up to an entire generation that had their lives stolen from them? I can tell you from doing research on this particular situation that healing does not come from one man apologizing. It comes from recognition and from putting your hand to the plow to establish a solid value system where people can stand firm on the fact that something like this will never happen again.